Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to do something I have not done in quite some time, which is make a video. Um, yeah, it's been a while. I mean, those of you who've been in the VC for a while, you know how it gets. You have that spurt where things get a little busy, so you don't really make a video for a few days, and that turns into a week, and that turns into a couple of weeks, and blah blah blah. And that's kind of where life has been for the last few weeks. We just hadn't got around to making a video. Um, but yeah, so and I just kind of thought about it actually recently because I'd still been working at the shop a bit and had kind of built up some credit, but just hadn't been buying anything. Then I finally kind of put in an order, and so some stuff actually came in my hands, and I thought I need to make a freaking video. But yeah, so just wanted to kind of come here really quick and do that. I do want to give a big thank you to everyone who there was a number of people that just kind of threw some comments my way, just kind of wondering where I was, if I was doing okay, and all that good stuff. And all of you know who you are, and I think I emailed back everyone, so I really appreciate that. Number one, thanks for thinking about me, even when I'm not throwing something in your subscribers section or whatever. But yeah, I truly do appreciate that. So thanks a lot, guys. Um, yeah, so just want to kind of jump into a few things here. Let's see. We'll just kind of dive right into it. And actually, the first two pieces I want to show are kind of some VCLT from Billy Hurst. And you guys know Billy here in the VC. Which you also need to keep in mind. River Bend Records, Billy's new store, is actually going to be opening up next week. So he's like right at the deadline of getting stuff done. And yeah, I mean, he's been working his tail off. He and his wife, just like from sun up to sundown. They've put so much back-breaking work into that store. And, I've popped over a number of times, just helping out here and there, been helping with pricing and stuff like that. And actually, I'm going over there this afternoon. I'm going to go back over and start doing some other organizing stuff too, just to help out wherever I can. Because, like I said, he is over there just working his tail to the bone. But it's really going to be a nice store. I mean, this is one of those. Maybe we always see typically we always see the record stores that have been around for years and years, so they're kind of, the little hole in the walls, or places that may be kind of little dusty, little dirty, like that type, the stereotype is places that we love, don't get me wrong. But it is kind of interesting seeing one where someone has just kind of started from scratch, from the ground up, and kind of like a brand new store. And that's kind of what Billy has. He's put a lot of work into a lot of different details in it. It's going to be a nice freaking spot. Very nice store. So yeah, I'll be shooting back over there again this afternoon. Spend a few hours over there helping him out. And yeah, so I'm sure he'll keep you guys up to date. He's been working so freaking long. He hasn't probably even had a second to do some updates. But maybe I'll see if he and I can maybe do one tonight, because it's going to be cool. But keep him in mind. Make sure you keep an eye out for Riverbend Records. Now I'm also still working, of course, at the Music Record Shop, because he's another fantastic store in the area, and the owner Mark, who I love so much, which is kind of cool now, because as long as I've had a dream of wanting to work in a record store, I'm actually going to be working in two record stores now for a while, so that's going to be freaking awesome. But yeah, so actually, let me start with this piece too. I'll show this, and then I'll show the two VCLT pieces I got from Billy. But this is one that just recently came into the Music Record Shop, which is Death Angel. This is Human Side, their 2019 release, their newest album. As you can see, autographed, which is awesome. And this again just kind of goes back to some of that real cool exclusive stuff that Mark is getting in at the Music Record Shop, with just the connections that he has with labels and different band managers and stuff like that. He's able to get a lot of exclusive signed stuff just for our shop. So this was one. I think he got 50 copies of this or something like that. And so, if you like Death Angel, cool autograph piece to have there, which is nice. So, and I think we still have a few left. So if you're interested in one, again, the musicrecordshop.com, make sure you go check that out. It's in the charity records section, because a portion of everything you buy here goes to charity, which is kind of awesome. So that's kind of just part of the benefit that he wants to do with all of the autograph stuff that he gets. But the record itself, pretty cool album. It was interesting though, because it's 2 LP, 3 sides, right? So I throw it on, started playing and I'm listening to it and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. A little bit different than maybe the typical Death Angel. They kind of slowed it down a little bit. There's a little bit of sludge in there, but really just kind of a little more slow, a little more heavy. And then I realized, oh, it's a 45 RPM album and I'm playing it on 33. So so then I had to go back, of course, and I was like, oh, okay, there's a Death Angel I know, and I switched it over to 45. But honestly, that first track, it sounded great both ways. So I don't know, maybe Death Angel should consider something there. But really, really good album. Now, VCLT for Riverbend Records. Billy, I'm going to start referring to Billy as Riverbend Records. Just a couple cool pieces that he just thought I would love, and he was right. Supertramp, Breakfast in America, of course, very common album. Everyone knows this one. But as you can see, just a very, very nice Japanese pressing. And Billy knew I had a MoFi pressing of this, but I mean, yeah, always nice to pull a Japanese pressing into the collection. And my MoFi copy is still sealed. I don't think I've opened that yet. So when you talk about a nice one to spin, I will definitely take that. So Billy, thanks so much for that, man. Really, really appreciate it. And then another one here too, which was cool. You guys know for like the last couple of years, if you've been following my channel, I've been working on completing my Uriah Heep collection, which they have so much stuff out there. And this is one of those albums I just had a hard time finding in great condition. As a matter of fact, there's a local store here that has one that's a brand new sealed copy with a cut corner. And it's been sitting in there for, I don't know, like a year or so now. And it drives me crazy every time I see it because I'm like, oh, I want that so bad, but it's got a freaking cut corner. And it's brand new sealed copy too. But yeah, I was just helping Billy sort some stuff in the store the other day, and I came across this, and I pulled it out, and I was like, oh, no, dude, I'm buying that already, forget it. And he was like, man, forget it, just take it. I was like, thanks, man. But Uriah Heep, Fallen Angel, just some more Uriah. I mean, it's not their best album in my opinion, but I kind of just like all their stuff. So fantastic piece there. So Billy, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Without question, those are two that I really, really wanted. And why don't we dive into a couple MoFi pickups that I had. So finally getting rid of some of that credit, decided to pick up The Times They Are Changing by Bob Dylan. Of course, you guys know this album. Now this is with a MoFi 2LP 45 RPM, which, it's cool to have those, but I guess my biggest issue is that whenever MoFi puts out something that's a 2LP 45, then the price is automatically just going to be like, God, I mean, MoFi is expensive enough as it is, which is why I'm very fortunate to be able to, be working at the stores and having credit. It's a lot different buying it that way than trying to shell out $50-$60, a pop for new albums. But yes, I mean, still great to have. The Times They Are Changing. I do have a very nice OG pressing of this. So again, this is probably going to work more as a collector's piece for me, where I'm not really going to open it at the current time. But if I ever get the hair, I definitely will. And the exact same thing with Vanilla Fudge, 2LP 45 MoFi pressing. Fantastic album there. Definitely my favorite Vanilla Fudge. Well, yeah, I guess you could say it's my favorite. Because it definitely has my favorite song by them, which is their version of You Keep Me Hanging On. Maybe one of their more common songs or whatever, but I just love that version. I absolutely love it. So that's also a very nice pickup. And again, this is one that from a collection standpoint, I'm probably just going to keep it sealed for now. I do have, again, a very nice original U.S. pressing, a near mint U.S. pressing, and then also a near mint Japanese pressing too. So I think I have plenty of copies to listen to that sound fantastic. So that's where the kind of the collector side is coming out of me again there. But nice to have, as well as one more MoFi piece here, which is Get the Knack by The Knack. So again, you guys kind of know this album inside and out. their gigantic hit, of course, is My Sharona, which might be my least favorite song on this album. Um, Definitely like some of the other tracks, especially some of the B stuff, like Good Girls Don't, for example. Love that song. Ever since I think I heard it for the first time in Sorority Boys. Remember that movie from a number of years ago? Um, just, I don't know, just one of those songs just makes me smile, makes me crack up. But great classic album there. Single LP MoFi pressing. And then also just a regular 79 US pressing of Get the Knack. Which was funny because Get the Knack was one of those albums that, you see these everywhere, right? I mean, and it's a typical $5-6 record, maybe something like that. So not expensive, not hard to find. But for me, the challenge has always been finding ones that are in great condition, that don't have a few creases, or the record doesn't have marks and that type of thing. So I had passed up so many over the past couple years of needing to get a copy, and so I stumbled across this one, and I was like, oh, that's in pretty good shape. So perfect, finally found one. And then I put that MoFi one on order like 4 or 5 months ago at the shop, and it was on a back order. So it ended up showing up the exact same week I found that copy. So waited for so long, and then in 1 week, 2 nice copies end up coming in. So that's how it works sometimes, I guess. Did something I haven't done in a while with this, which is just do a complete and total random blind buy. Again, just kind of I figured with the credit I had, just kind of take a chance and try something new. And I decided to grab the Static X. This is Project Regeneration Volume 1. Now, of course, these days you don't truly have to blind buy anything because you just get on your phone right there in the store and listen to most things. But I just kind of thought, let's do it the old-fashioned way. Just grab something, you have no idea what it is, you take it home, put it on the turntable, and just see what comes out of your speakers. And I'd always kind of hesitated with Static X because I've been a huge fan of theirs for a long time. But once Wayne Static died, I just always kind of wondered, well, he was kind of Static X in so many different ways. And I mean, Wisconsin Death Trip, I love that album to death. Definitely my favorite album. I've seen them in concert before. Other occasions, I've actually had a chance to meet the band and got autographed stuff. And so I've always loved them. But when Wayne passed away, so I thought, well, let me just kind of see what the new Static X sounds like. I think they've had 1 or 2 other albums before this one, maybe something like that. But anyway, so I was actually pleasantly surprised because they definitely didn't try to change the sound or anything, or the new guy that came on board. His name slipped my mind right now. He really just kind of stepped right in and just kind of kept going from where they left off with Wayne. Same type of sound, that same electronic, new metal-y type of rhythmic sound. And the guy vocally even kind of sounds a bit like Wayne. So I'm glad they really kind of kept that trademark, if you will. So, man, it's not going to be my favorite Static X album anytime soon, because again, Wisconsin Death Trip is still going to be the one, but definitely a solid album. I was very happy with it. Next here, look at this one actually. Got this album, Run Lucifer by Adna. Not sure if you've heard of her or not, which quite frankly I hadn't until recently, but I was watching this series on Netflix called The Rain. It's kind of one of those Netflix exclusive, medium budget. The acting is nothing that's stellar or anything, but just one of those series you get caught up with, another apocalyptic type of series. But one thing I kept noticing in all these episodes I was watching is just all this music that was catching my ear, this background music. And there had to be at least 3 or 4 episodes where I was, how on Netflix, if you don't touch it, it'll just like go to the next episode and kind of skip the credits. And I was going in like, no, wait a second, I need to see the credits because I need to know who that artist was and what that artist was. And she was one of them. There was a song called Beautiful Hell that was in one of the episodes, which is the song that I loved off of this album. And I was like, man, I just got to get that. But most of the stuff in the series, the music, it's very synth pop, dream pop, and not like upbeat, but more kind of just melodic and kind of little darker, a little more intense type of synth pop stuff. And again, Beautiful Hell was just one of those songs that just really stood out to me. So discovered some great music in that series of a lot of bands that are just kind of your smaller indie type of bands that most of us would have never heard about unless we were kind of already really into them. So nice new artist to discover, and I highly recommend checking it out. I did listen to the album from front to back, and it's fantastic. But my track off of there is Beautiful Hell. Nice stuff. Next, we're going to go right here with John Mayer. Heavier Things. Yeah, I know, John Mayer, blah, blah, blah. But I do like John Mayer. I mean, actually, I should definitely kind of qualify that. When he does a song that I like, I tend to really, really love it. Anything I don't like by him, I really, really tend to hate it, like a lot. Like not just, it's okay. It's like I either hate what he does or I completely love what he does. There's no in between. So, songs like, Bigger Than My Body, I think is a fantastic track off of this. I love his vocals on that, even though his vocals kind of the same and everything, but I just like the way he delivered that song. If you go to his albums like Continuum, you have songs like Gravity, which I think is a fantastic track. Heartbreak Warfare off of Studies, another, again, just some really, really great stuff. But then a lot of times the rest of the stuff is just like, But again, nice pickup, glad to have that one. Just kind of a classic piece I've been needing to get a nice copy of, which is Bad Company. One of the greatest hard rock, just straight up in your face hard rock bands, I think. But yeah, so this is Rough Diamonds. And this is another one, again, you see everywhere. And oftentimes you'll see this in the, $2, $3 bins, But it was just a matter of finding a perfect copy, which I finally stumbled across one. So I was able to add that to the collection. Love me some Bad Company. Last two here. This one is Brian Blades and the Fellowship Band. This is Landmarks. New band that I discovered. I actually discovered them listening to a couple of their other CDs, which I like a bit more. But then I actually stumbled across this album in the shop. So I went ahead and picked it up. Just kind of a R&B jazzy kind of thing. It's kind of hard to describe, but yeah, so definitely a band that I'm looking to discover a bit more. And the last one here, we have Morgan. This is their self-titled from 1969. Now, this is not a 1969 press. This is actually a 2007 pressing. But yeah, just one of those awesome groups from back in the kind of the psychedelic phase of things. Didn't really know them that well. I'd always loved the song Welcome to the Void. I had that on kind of a mix, reel-to-reel stuff of psychedelic stuff that I liked. And I've been listening to that for a long time, but just, never really knew much about the rest of their stuff. So when I stumbled across this reissue, I was like, okay, nice pickup. And yeah, just some really good kind of heavier psych stuff. So when it comes to the psychedelic stuff, I tend to like stuff that's a lot more heavy and fuzzy as opposed to more of the lighter garage rock type of feel stuff. But just kind of my preference there. So that's that. Oh, there was one other thing I want to show. So let me grab this really quick. So I left this over there. But I did pick up one deluxe CD, which of course is Santana Supernatural, and you guys know this album like crazy. So yeah, nice deluxe pickup there. I like collecting the deluxe CDs with the slip cases. Great album. The only thing I'll even say about this album, again, since it's, I think this was, when an album of the year, was it 1999, 2000 or 99? 1999 or 2000, it was album of the year. But one of the things I thought that was kind of cool, but also bothers me about it is, I thought it was really cool that you could have like Santana, like someone that rocked the hell out of Woodstock. Their performance of like Soul Sacrifice, still one of the greatest, like, yeah, amazing. But then to also think someone that rocked Woodstock that way is getting album of the year awards basically in the 2000s, it's just kind of like, man, that just talks about some staying power of a career. Even though some of those albums he had in the '80s were kind of suspect, but but still, um, that's one thing I've always thought was really cool about that album. But one of the things that always bugged me about it, and let me know if you guys feel the same way or not, is to get Album of the Year awards, but basically to have that many cameos of different singers coming onto your album and stuff like that. To me, that just seems like there should be a little bit of a disqualification when you know, when you have so many big name singers and stuff that are coming on your album and performing. Something about that just always seems off. Kind of like when you look at those 100 greatest selling albums of all time books, and you see stuff like Saturday Night Fever, for example. It's like, okay, really? So you can take Kool and the Gang, you can take the Bee Gees, you can take the Tanveers, like you can take all these different artists that were big and need award, like these artists that were huge, put them all on a record and say, "Oh, look how many we sold." Well, it's like, well, yeah, of course. Like to me, it just kind of feels the same way that it would be kind of the same thing if someone said, "Okay, we're gonna take these songs from Metallica, we're gonna take these songs from Slayer, we're gonna take these songs from Anthrax, some from Overkill, some from Death Angel, we'll make this compilation album, and then we'll just like sell it repeatedly for the next 20 years. And then 20 years from now, we go, one of the greatest selling thrash albums of all time." I was like, well, yeah, no kidding. That just seems off to me. I don't know, just my opinion. But anyway, but yeah, so great to talk to you guys, VC. Like I said, it has been a while. I am still working on the room tour. I actually tried to do that 2 weeks ago, and my phone, I could not get the video to go to my laptop so I could put it together and blah, blah, blah. So it kind of frustrated me, but hopefully I can get those kinks worked out, because I'm still definitely wanting to give you guys a full tour of the new space. So yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Great to see you guys, so to speak. And we'll talk to you soon.